Kempire is brought to you by... Hey, Kempire fam, are you okay? This Friday, September 19th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. PST, I'm going live with my faves at Butter Skin to spill the glow. I'm breaking down my real routine and the products I actually use, and so much more. We're talking quick, simple switches that make a huge difference, tips for glowing skin, and exclusive deals and giveaways you can only get during the live. Be sure to tune in and follow at Butter Skin everywhere so you don't miss it. And get ready to upgrade your routine and level up your glow with me, TheKempire. Let's get it, and I'll see you then. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, be sure to share the video, be sure to follow us. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, The Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. We're also live on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. Follow us there, please, and thank you. We're also live on X, unfortunately, but look. But we're there. We have a community on X. I only really stream there because I want to be able to have like a call-in link for you guys to call in. So that's the only real reason I'm streaming there, if we're going to be honest. We had the premiere episode of season 6 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last night, and I know all of you have strong opinions. If you're in the live chat on YouTube, there is a poll for you guys to vote from 1 to 10 on how you would rate last night's episode. Live chat, those of you watching on Twitch, let me know how you rate this week's episode. I will say this. At first, because I kind of watched it in the background as I was doing other things last night, and I was kind of like, was this episode good? But then I rewatched it this morning, and I was giggling to myself, and I was like, oh no, this was a good episode. I don't know if I would give it a 10. I'm not going to give it a 10. I'm probably going to give it a strong 8. Maybe 8.5. Hey, Goss the Boss. A strong 8. 8.5. Maybe a 9. It was a good episode. I want to give it a 10. You know why I'm not going to give it a 10? Because they focus so much on Lisa Barlow. Oh, I got to work on my Lisa Barlow. They focus so much on her. And you know, if you've been watching our recaps of Salt Lake City, I've said last season, they make Lisa Barlow the queen. And it's not even on Lisa Barlow. I have nothing against Lisa Barlow. They make her such an important factor. They make her the queen. Lisa Barlow is not claiming to be the queen. They make her so relevant that it's like, and for the people that are wondering, where was Lisa? Where was Lisa? Kaylee says Lisa was missed. Was she? She was there. It's all they ever talked about. Well, word on the street, the reason why we didn't see Lisa in the beginning, I don't know if we'll see her next week. We saw a little bit of her on FaceTime, but that could have been a pickup scene for later. Who knows? Remember, we're watching an edited show. For all we know, this scene could have been filmed weeks after they started filming. It's very possible. Because the rumor was that Lisa was holding out, as she should, the way that they made the beginning of the season all about her. She should be holding out, signing her contract for more money. And I hope she got it. Because the way that they made everything about Lisa was... Because I know that there were some lawsuits about Lisa on social media, but not to the point where it was like, oh my gosh, Lisa, she's hiding from us because of all these lawsuits. I don't think Lisa Barlow would hide from these women in regards to lawsuits. She's had plenty of lawsuits. She's got plenty of attorneys to handle these lawsuits. I don't think that was the reason why Lisa wasn't there. I really believe Lisa wasn't there because they wanted to make it seem why Lisa didn't film in the beginning, blah, 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 blah. She was holding out for more money. And the way that they made everything about Lisa in the beginning, I was like, as she should. And I hope she got it. Lisa, I hope you got every single penny because they make you the queen. Do I think that you're the queen of Salt Lake City? Well, we'll save that for another day. Hold on. You know, it's that time of the year. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on, y'all. I gotta find. Oh, there it goes. Got it.
Mary can go herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Mary is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. you, fucking piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
Look, I know. I don't know about you guys. I'm happy to see Lisa and Meredith back on a good page. I saw. It seems like there's some sort of beef brewing between Heather Gay and Meredith. There's something brewing between them. We didn't see it in the premiere episode, but it's brewing on social media. Something's going on. And Meredith said in her interview with Gabbing with Gib, the podcast, Meredith said that the reason why they fell out, I mean, obvious reasons why they fell out, but some of it had to do with people bringing information back that was inaccurate. A lot of dramas started that way. A lot of, social media drama is started like that. A lot of your friendship situations and arguments have started like that because of other people in your ear. I don't know why people, especially at their big age, are listening to other people. How about go to that person and be like, well, this person is saying that you said this about me. Is that what you said? But I'm glad to see, I don't know about anyone else, I'm glad to see that Lisa and Meredith are sticking together. And look, I know I've said season after season, Meredith, there's nothing going on with Meredith, but I'm wrong. There isn't nothing going on with Meredith, but she's proven to be a mainstay over the years. 6 seasons in, and we look, there's not a lot of one-liners from these people. When it comes to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, a lot of the one-liners that I have for Salt Lake City are from Mary Cosby and Meredith. And sometimes Lisa, but I think they make Lisa the queen. Whitney, I don't like the red hair. I love your confessional where she has the neon green and she has her blonde hair back. She's a beautiful woman. You would think any hair color would look good on her. Maybe it's that shade of red. I don't like that shade of red. I don't. Okay? I don't like that shade of red. But that's me. That's me. You all might have a difference of opinion, which is okay here. This is a safe space. We listen and we judge quietly.
I am the 5th member. How about that?
Ateka says, I love Meredith. She's growing on me. It took 6 seasons. It took 6 seasons until Seth shows up, and then I'll be like, can she go? Look, okay, I was going to say something, but I'm going to say, this is my recap. I can't wait for her storyline when she said that her and Seth are getting a divorce. What? I said it. I'm looking forward to it because then I feel like she'll be living her truth. That'll be the most authentic thing that she's ever told us. Okay. Stacey Ann says, also not a fan of, on the ginger. And I thought that it might look good on her, but I don't like it. But all right, that's me. But I'm glad she's back to the blonde. All right, before we get to today's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap, again, do not forget to like the video. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe. It is a subscribers-only live chat. Shout out to our King's Guards. And shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. And don't forget, this Friday, I will be live on Butter. We'll be live here on YouTube too, but we'll be live. Make sure you're following Butter Skin on Instagram. We'll be live there. We will be streaming. I'll be talking all about my skincare routine. There'll be giveaways, all kinds of really cool stuff. That is Friday, September 19th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. PST. So set your reminders and let me know if you're going to be there in the chat, or if you're part of the replay crew, let me know if you're going to be there. I'm gonna tell you all about my skincare routine. If you look behind me, you can see a little bit of my skincare routine from Butter. You know I love the product. Today's Face is brought to you by Butter. Today's Face is brought to you by Butter. You can find more Butter products on my TikTok shop and the link in the description for 10% off. All right. I want to say shout out to Sue's beeswax and essential oil and candles. She's not paying me, but she's been to the 2 Kempire After Dark New York City live shows, and she's brought me candles, and I've been burning them recently, and I'm like, I love these candles. First of all, her candles are gorgeous. Look inside this candle. And it's all natural that she's doing. Beeswax and essential oils. Look at this candle. This is just one. I mean, I would show you this one, but you can see I actually used it. Okay, Sue, if you see this, girl, this lavanilla that you did, I love it. I love it. And it's reusable tin. It's a reusable tin. Aren't these gorgeous? These are gorgeous. I can tell you right now where you can go to get this. Please hold. Head on over, and mods, if you can just take this down. It's made in Brooklyn, New York. I love a New York product. You can find her on Instagram at Suze_B_N_E_candles. That is on Instagram. Okay. And yeah, you can find her link there. So again, that's Suze_B_N_E_candles. All right. I'll post it up here so you guys can see it. There we go. Right? Isn't that awesome? I love it. And I love it because I can't. I know we love our Bath and Body Works and all that stuff. I stopped doing that ever since I started using like soy and now these beeswax candles. And it's like quality cans that she's using here too. Look at this. This is heavy. You can also use it as a weapon. But this is my favorite one, La Vanilla. And I normally wouldn't like vanilla, but the mixing of the two. All right, I'm sorry. And look at the top of the can. She loves her bees. Okay. Bzz. All right. All right. Let me put this to the side. You know, promote. And she's a black woman. Black businesses. And shout out to her husband. Her husband was also there. He's been to the show. And he's been supportive as well. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And coming to the show. And shout out to everyone that got the live stream. And shout out to those of you that came to the New York City show. Shout out to the Brooke Ashley. Shout out to our hosts from our other cities in Philly. We had Alexander Rogers. We had Taria in D.C. We had the Batty twins, Carrie and Craig in Atlanta. So thank you to everyone that came out. Shout out to all of you that came out to the Kempire After Dark live show, the villain era. It's almost over. It's almost over. But let's talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Let me just get into my show notes in regards to this. And again, be sure to vote in the live chat poll if you haven't already. Grandest Diva says the Philly show was amazing. It feels like so long ago, Grandest Diva, the Philly show. But I mean, that was the first show that we did this summer. And the summer's over now. Woo, woo, woo. Queen said, how long has the candle lasted so I know how many to buy? Well, I'll tell you this. I've been burning this one all weekend, and it took a while to even get to this point, and I still have so much more in it. And this is a small tin. This is hold on, what size? This is a 5-ounce tin. So can you imagine the others, okay? All right, let me focus. Let's get to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If I had to rate it, I'm going to give it a 9. I'm just going to give it a 9, especially after I watched it a second time. And bravo, Peacock, what are you guys doing? I thought we had a bonus episode this morning when I was looking at Peacock. No. You know what they did? They put as episode 2 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I don't know if it's a mistake. They put Watch What Happens Live. Y'all will do anything to get ratings for that failing show. Stop. Oh. And then y'all ask why I'm not a bartender at Watch What Happens Live. All right, let me get to this. Let's get to this. First of all, we start off the episode with our favorites. Angie K. First of all, did y'all see Angie K? Angie K is at the center. She's at the center of the cast photo, and when they're holding their snowflakes, Angie K is at the center. So that says, and she's hosting the big group trip out of the country. Angie K is at the center of the drama this season, and I'm here for it. Good for Angie K. And look, she's grown on me because, you know, I never was a huge fan. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to you that I loved any of these people, but I always tell you, let's wait. Let's wait and see how it goes. And I'm still going to call Angie out when she's wrong. Like in this episode, there were a couple of moments where I'm like, Angie, really? There is no comparison to Jen Shaw in regards to this. So they start off the episode, because you know what I love about Salt Lake City is the editing. You would never believe that this is the same production company that produced Real Housewives of New York. You would never know, right? However, it is. But there's something about this cast. There's something about the backdrop of Salt Lake City. But there's the backdrop of New York City that I feel is beautiful. But the way that they're able to capture the eeriness, the quirkiness, the darkness of Salt Lake City and these women and the things that are hidden, the way that they edit it, look, it's been that way since season 1. I love it. So they start off at the beginning of this episode with Mary Cosby doing the voiceover about friendships, okay? And we're doing a sort of like a Blair Witch esque recording, okay? So they do that, and we get a little preview of what we can expect in this episode. The entire episode basically is this girls' trip, which I thought was different, but I appreciate them changing the way things have been done. This is what's going to help keep people engaged with Real Housewives, because so many people are checked out. But I like that they break boundaries, and that's what I like about Miami too, because we have friend dubs that don't feel like friend dubs. Some of you are like, oh, Marisol's a friend of? Yeah, because they don't treat her like a friend of. You see more of her life. She's more involved in everything. And I feel like that's what we're getting here. Look, Brittany is very much involved. I said, I'm surprised she wasn't a full-time cast member last season. But I'm okay with Brittany just being a friend of. I know she's not. But Brittany is so unhinged, but she's so perfect. She's so perfect for this cast. And look, sometimes you got to go through the different cast changes to figure out who can fit. I'm so glad they brought Brittany back. She is a mess, but in a perfect way, right? Assets on Twitch says, Britt is too desperate. Let her be a friend. Exactly. I think being a friend is perfect for Britt. And I know her social media behavior really turned me off when the season was over. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so much right now. But I like her. And I like that she sort of is so obvious with her thirst. And I'm okay with that. She can sing, though. That's one thing. Y'all really keep making Lisa sing everywhere she goes, and I need her to stop. Brittany can sing. And as the black folks say, she can sing. She can. Look, she can. All right. Rain on Me says that Britt is a hot mess. In the best way. I'm taking all the comments in the best way. Angel says that Britt is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Not sure why her and Heather don't really get along. They don't? Her and Heather do get along. Right? Because Heather was the one who brought her on. I mean, Heather still throws her under the bus. All right. So the premiere episode opens with this sort of Blair Witch-esque inspiration intro with Mary Cosby being the voiceover. Then we segue to Angie pulling up to the compound, Mary's home, and the first thing out of Mary's mouth when she sees Angie, she's like, why are you dressed like you are going to the office? Mary is just funny. Like unintentionally funny. And I love the fact that she's leaning into being engaged and funny. I love it. She's unhinged in a different way. So she looks at Angie K, and I'm so glad she pointed it out because I was like, yeah, why is she dressed like that? She's like, why are you dressed like you're going to the office? All right, so they talk about why they're doing the RV. Apparently, Sean was into RVing, and that's how Angie K has gotten into RVing. Apparently, Mary Cosby grew up with her grandmother, doing the RVs, but she was just like, I don't want to do this as an adult. I don't want to be in close quarters with all these people in an RV. How are all of them sleeping in that RV? I'm trying to the RV is big. Doesn't seem big enough to have Bronwyn, Angie, Meredith, Heather, Whitney, Angie. 6 people? And Brittany, 7 people. 7 people are going to sleep in the RV? And where is the driver going to sleep? 8 people. Where? Who, what, where? Angie, I know you already said this on Watch What Happens Live. You're going to make up for this terrible trip when you bring them to Greece. I'm actually looking forward to that. Because Salt Lake City has suffered because of Jen Shaw. So they really did not have any like international trips until recently. And I love the fact that now we're going to Greece. I mean, like this is their first big trip. Oh, Regina says that it expands. I like those little TikToks where you see people that live in RVs, but how much is it expanding? How much is it expanding? Because I've seen them expand, but not that much to fit 8 people. And I'm guessing the driver's going to sleep in his seat up front. But maybe that pulls back into a bed. That's still not comfortable. Let's be honest. That's still not comfortable. Sleeping on those things are not comfortable. Come on. Okay. Clarissa says RVs have pop-outs, though. For 8 people, though, I can understand maybe 3, 4, 5 maybe. For 8 people. Okay, 7. Won't count the driver. He'll sleep outside. 8 people? I guess maybe next week we'll see how they'll sleep in it. We don't know if they're really going to sleep in this. Remember, they're not that far away. They're filming. Okay, I don't know if they're really going to sleep in this thing. I look, when Bronwyn heard about them doing this, and they threw up the beautiful cabin picture. They're like, this is what I thought we were going to be doing, not this. Mary Cosby is confused too, because she was like, how did I get attached to this trip? Producers attached you to this trip. I wonder what event Mary will throw this season. Mary usually does a good job throwing her events. Okay? Tanya says there is bunk beds. Still. Okay, let's say there's bunk beds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, again, like I said, 5 max. It didn't seem that big. And this is not like a touring bus. Because then if it was a touring bus, then I could be like, okay, maybe. This is an RV, even if it's expandable. Okay, Mama Allie's weighing in. Mama Allie's watching on Twitch, and she's watching on YouTube. Shout out to our King's Cards. Mama Allie. Is Foxy? I think it was Foxy. I was like, because I get, like, if I don't see usuals, and it's okay. I understand you guys can't be here all the time, but I was like, wait a second, is Foxy here? I'm like, just checking in. Like doing attendance. Like, oh, wait, is everyone good? Is everyone okay? Foxy's always here. Mama Allie's always here. I take that. Please understand, I don't take that for granted. I was like, is everyone good? Mama Allie says, I grew up camping in tents. My husband grew up camping at a family cabin. So I guess an RV would be a compromise. Would you do it, Mama Allie? Would you do I didn't grow up camping. I am not a camper. I've been camping, well, technically, like real camping with a tent once. And this was when I was like a teenager, and I said, never again. Miss Relly says 2 in a bed. What is happening? Not 2 in a bed. 2 in a bed? I mean, they're women. They're smaller. Okay. Ooh, Dorothy says, I want Mary to organize the next international trip. I wonder if she'll be a part of the co-organization of the Greece trip. I wouldn't be surprised, depending on where her friendship is with Angie K at that particular time. Because as you saw the preview, there is a little hiccup in their friendship, but I really feel like they have a true friendship. I love it. Miss Parker says, chairman of Twitch and YouTube checking in, Kempire. Hey, Miss Parker. Miss Parker's streaming. Again, guys, I'm streaming in 4K. If you want the ultimate experience, follow us on Twitch. Okay? Because even when I wasn't streaming in 4K, it's top tier quality, and we have quite a few people that are already in the chat. And I hear it's not only is it top quality picture, it's also just like fun, like the emojis that you can use in there and things like that. So follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. Okay. All right, let me move on because we got a lot to go through, and I know you guys want to call in and share your thoughts. So they're all going to be sleeping in this RV. Brittany, she actually goes to Beauty Lab. They drive to Beauty Lab. The women are like, well, they're being very secretive about what this trip is going to look like. Okay? So they finally pull up to Beauty Lab. All right? They pull up to a Beauty Lab. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Acid says the sound and video is better on Twitch. Thank you, Assets. Because I also have a very expensive mic system, too. So I'm glad you guys can appreciate it. All right? And the Riz says that it also doesn't have commercials. Well, that's not good for me. All right. So they pull up to Beauty Lab, and everyone's just like, what in the hell is going on right now? Because they got this invitation with, bring your bikinis and this and that, and with a private jet. So they're thinking this is going to be an amazing trip somewhere far away. And Brittany actually wears a bathing. This is why I say something ain't right with Brittany. She actually wore a bikini under her jacket. Mind you, there is snow on the ground in Utah. She wore a bikini under her jacket. And she shows like, I wore a bikini thinking that we're going somewhere fun and warm. Not quite. Okay? Not quite. So then, as they're getting into the RV, the SWAT team shows up. Uh-oh. Well, you remember the last time we were at Beauty Lab as a group, what happened? And they flashed back to when Jen Shaw got pulled up. And then Heather Gay, honestly, I would have PTSD as well. If you were there when Jen Shaw hightailed it out there and the NYPD and Homeland Security pulled up to you, I would have PTSD as well. Like, what is going on? Because I have to say, those guys did not look like strippers. They didn't look like strippers. So I can understand them not falling for the prank. But this was Whitney's prank. They said, we're looking for Whitney Rose. Whitney comes out and she's like, what's going on? What's going on? You're under arrest for being a very bad girl. And then they go into the RV and they're dancing. And Mary Cosby's like, where are the muscles? Where are the muscles? Mary Cosby was like,
I am the fifth member.
No, hold on.
How about that?
That's what Mary wanted to tell these strippers. She was like, you can leave. Where were the muscles? I mean, they were okay. They weren't bad looking guys, but Whitney says, I didn't realize how hard it was to find strippers in Salt Lake City or Utah. Well, then there's that. Ateka says, tacky Whitney. I mean, it's a girls' trip. I mean, is this my thing? No, but it was like a hot second. They came in, they did. His bookie said the SWAT didn't look real. I mean, based off the costumes, it didn't look real, but they also didn't look like strippers, right? Didn't look like strippers. Russ says that Mary was not wrong. She wasn't. She wasn't at all. All right, let's move on. Let's move on from there. Guys, you're just joining us. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Don't forget, you can also hear our recaps and special episodes on the Kempire podcast. We also just dropped a new Club Kempire episode yesterday, giving you some behind the scenes of what happened at the Kempire After Dark live show here in New York City, but also talking about Big Brother, Gilded Age, and some other stuff. Make sure you become a Club Kempire baddie. Head on over to the Apple Podcast app or their website if you don't have an Apple device, and become a Club Kempire baddie. There is a free 3-day trial to check it out. There's all other content there, including our White Lotus recaps. I talk about Big Brother. I talk about a bunch of stuff that we don't talk about anywhere else. I also spill the tea that I spilled in New York City and in DC there. So just in case you may have missed it, that's your opportunity. All right. All right. Mods, if we can post a link to the Apple podcast, that'd be fantastic if you can. Thank you in advance. Ariana, what's going on? All right. So they have the strippers. Brittany says, so they're on their way to this canyon, okay, in Salt Lake. And, well, somewhere in Utah. Brittany says that if we're going south, then we're going to pass my house. Mary Cosby says, maybe we can drop you off. Maybe we can drop you off. I was not prepared, and everyone giggles. Didn't everyone else giggle? I was like, ooh. She still does not like Brittany. Can't blame her though. Can't blame her. And I kind of like their interaction because it's not too hateful. It's sort of like a frenemy situation now. Before it was a little like, oh, she really doesn't like her, but now it's sort of like a frenemy situation. Right? Because I don't think Brittany takes true offense anymore. Brittany says, we're going to be passing my house. She's like, well, maybe we can drop you off. But no, don't drop her off, because I have to say there were some more unhinged moments from Brittany later on in the episode. So we finally get to the spot and everyone's like, where are we? Because it's not even like a normal camping ground. So they're walking and they're like, well, they're driving and they're like, what in the, like, we're passing dumpsters. Things look, they get out, they're walking in mud. Mary Cosby's like, what is this? So everyone's confused. Like, how is Mary co-hosting this trip? This doesn't seem like anything that Mary Cosby would want to do. I agree. SW says that Brittany is just happy to be in scenes. I agree with that as well. El Singleton, what's going on? Thank you for being a member. El Singleton says Mary is the shade assassin of Salt Lake City. She really is. She, for me, if you want to know who the queen of Salt Lake City for me is Mary Cosby. I get why people like Lisa Barlow. I'm not saying that Lisa Barlow isn't a queen. They make her a queen by constantly talking about her. But again, word on the street was the reason why she wasn't there was because she was still figuring out her contract, not because of anything that they were talking about. So then they started talking about, where is Lisa? And they say Lisa, she doesn't want to spend the night with, they flash back to when Angie speaks with her. Again, we don't know when that was filmed. They flash back when Lisa and Angie, I guess they're in a better place, FaceTime with each other. And she says she doesn't want to spend the night with Bronwyn. Because remember, she's having her issues with Bronwyn. Sidebar, you know how much we loved Bronwyn, at least at the top of last season? Watching her in the premiere episode, I was like, how the mighty have fallen. I don't love Bronwyn that much anymore. But I'm gonna remain open. But I don't love her that much anymore. I'm just saying. So she says she doesn't want to spend the night with Bronwyn, but she also I have a few things that I got, that I'll be doing. I'll be hanging out with Ben and Blake. Ben Affleck and Blake Lively? Okay, girl. So she says she has some work thing. So that's part of the reason why she will not be able to attend. So everyone's like, that's BS. A work thing, that's why she's not here. So they all start speculating on Lisa and why Lisa's not there. Brittany, a new friend, because Brittany's going to align herself with whoever will take her at this particular point so she can film. So Brittany starts defending her. And then she starts attacking Whitney. And she's like, you're getting dragged on social media right now. And Whitney's just like, what are you talking about? She's like, don't talk about my business. You don't know anything about my business. Well, then they flash to show that, she was being accused of an Emma. There's so much Salt Lake City stuff that happens on social media that makes me go, well, I mean, yeah, I saw that story, but it wasn't like a major story to me. But that's me. That's me. And I do remember them referring to Whitney's business as being like an MLM and that kind of thing. So Whitney says to Brittany, she says, and how do you make your money? Sucking D? Damn. Okay. That's important to pay attention to because it comes up later because Brittany's still harping on that. Okay. So Brittany says, well, Lisa's a real good friend of mine. Everyone's just like, since when? Heather in her confessional is just like, since when are they so close friends? I guess when she became close friends with Meredith? Meredith is confused by that as well. All right. So they finally get to the campgrounds and they're unloading and things like that. Mary says that she has no idea how her name got attached to this damn trip. Brittany has an announcement. No, not that one. She makes an announcement. She, guys, I have gifts for you. Since I love to record, I didn't know that they still sell camcorders. Some of you that are like 20 and younger are probably like, what the hell is she giving out? What is this? Do they still make camcorders? I think I still have a camcorder somewhere. I don't know if I can use it though. And she gives everyone a camcorder, hence why we see the recording at the beginning of the episode. These producers are great storytellers. They tie everything together, okay? So Brittany gifts the ladies these camcorders, and they're like, what the hell is this? They're like, oh my God, it's like the old school camcorder, okay? So she gives it to all the ladies. The ladies then bring up Lisa again. And they're like, why didn't she come on this trip? Then they talk about her multiple lawsuits and how she hasn't paid back these loans. And then, of course, editors are adding the headlines. And one headline was talking about how she owed money on this $400,000 loan. Apparently, she has like 5 lawsuits. Apparently, that was all over the blogs. And I'm sure they were on the blogs, but it wasn't, to me, it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't a big thing. And based on what I recall, Lisa did come out on social media and say that a lot of this stuff was resolved. But okay. And so they start talking about that. And you see already that Lisa has her allies. Heather, remember I always thought that was weird, the new allyship between Lisa and Heather, because, Heather is forever perpetually in high school and she always wants to be a part of the cool girls. And so that's how I view her alliance. That is not a real friendship, her and Lisa. That's an alliance. So she is there to defend her and Meredith. Meredith's like, well, I thought those lawsuits were resolved. Then Angie K decides to compare the lawsuits to Jen Shaw, but immediately said, okay, maybe bad comparison. Yeah, because I think everyone went like this, like, wait, huh? To Jen Shaw, who's currently in federal prison with Jaslene Maxwell, with that one? That Jen Shaw, who's getting out next year. The way that they talk about Jen Shaw, the way that Heather reacts with the name of Heather literally was like this. Jen Shaw, not just confusion, but also fear. She's like, why are we talking about Jen Shaw? She's where she needs to be in prison for now. That is Heather's kryptonite. And I've been on the fence whether or not I want Jen Shaw to come back. But the way that Heather's been irking my nerves these last few seasons and lied to us, no, I kind of want Jen Shaw to come back. I want Jen Shaw to come back to shake the table. I want to shake, because you already know Heather's going to be like, oh my gosh, she's coming back. No, I want her to come shake the table on Heather. I want to know, is she really the one that gave you the black eye, or was that just another lie? I mean, people speculated that, but that could have been a lie. I think if it was a lie, though, she would have came out on social media because, Coordinator Shaw is managing her social media. So I kind of now want to see Jen come back just to shake the table. And apparently Meredith has been in contact with her. Meredith making those prison calls. So she's still ingrained in the group. I was on the fence. I was like, no, she did the worst thing ever. But look, if we can forgive Karen and Karen serves her time, we can forgive Jen and bring her back. Bring Jen back. Free Jen. No. Free Jen. Free inmate Shaw. For now. No, let her serve her time. They keep reducing it, so she'll be out by Christmas. So we say thank you, Candace. It was so nice seeing you in New York City. Candace comes to all the shows. She was in the DC show. She was wearing the merch. Thank you, Candace. Thank you to you and your husband. Because, not all the husbands show up with the wives. Quite a few of them do. But not all the husbands. So shout out to you and your husband and your beautiful family. Candace, thank you for being a member as well. Candace says, I'm excited to see Meredith's new rental for this. I wasn't ready for that, Candace. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Because she lives here in New York. Okay, come on, hold on.
Go. Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You, that piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
She's half of New York. That will never leave the soundboard, okay? That is the one that will stay. That is an OG soundbite. It is not going anywhere.
That's really upsetting to me, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't say that.
Just saying. All right, Candace, thank you so much for the super chat. And for those that don't like the sound effects, sorry. That's all I can say. I'm just gonna apologize for it. You'll be strong. You're still here, though. You're still here. All right, Mr. Melon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Mr. Melon Magic says, Meredith gives Razapan Piper no White Lotus. She definitely does. They're all characters. I know they're real people, but they're characters. Duchess D, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Duchess D says, Heather is like Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls. She can't function unless she has a queen bee to serve. Well, Duchess D, you just said a word. Guys, we're almost at 200 likes. Keep liking the video if you haven't already. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If you had to rate this week's episode, the premiere episode of season 6, how would you rate it from 1 to 10? How would you rate it from 1 to 10? And don't forget, if you're watching the video of this, you probably see some of my butter products behind me. Don't forget, you can get 10% off if you go to the link in the description. But also, this Friday, September 19th, I will be live on Butter Skin. We'll also be live here on YouTube. We'll be live talking and giving away products. We'll be talking about my skincare routine. We'll be talking about your skincare routine. So if you haven't already, be sure to set a reminder. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. PST. We'll be live here on YouTube and on Butterskin Instagram on Friday. Okay? All right. Look, now that it's gotten cooler, now I'm sniffling, okay? Britt says she's effed half of New York. Lord, Lisa was really pissed. I might need to rewatch that episode. She really was. But I'm glad to see that. I don't know how they made it back to a friendship because I don't know. I said to you, part of me believes that it's not a friendship, it's an alliance. And I still think that it might be an alliance. Because how do you get back from that? I guess you can only get back from that if it was true. Oh, I guess you can only get back from that if it was true. Here you go, Kalam. Kalam says that sound effect needs to get the same recognition as Gregory's sad song y'all raised $500 for. And I already said at the New York City show, I'm removing it. Okay? I haven't removed it yet, though. No. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. But thank you guys for raising $500 for that. Jennifer, I edited. It doesn't sound like that when you watch the episode. The version that you guys hear of Lisa Barlow going on her rant, that's an edit that I did. So the echo that you hear, I did it. Got to make it your own, right? And I know that the snow, for those that are watching this on YouTube, the snow can be a little triggering because now it's about to be fall. It's about to be fall. It's not fall yet. So this Melon Magic says, it's an alliance so Monica and other people can't get to them. All right, let me move on, y'all, because we have more to talk about when it comes to the Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I am going to be dropping the call-in link. Maybe I'll drop the call-in link for our Twitch fam first. Yeah, before we do it for our members, I'll drop it for our Twitch fam first for those that want to call in. Make sure you're following us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. So they talk about Lisa, her lawsuits. Heather and Meredith try to defend her. Angie tries to compare Lisa's lawsuits to Jen Shah, and everyone's like, how is that even possible? Meredith, who's the attorney of the group, is like, one civil, one was the government was coming after her. Okay? Bronwyn then talks about the $4 million necklace. And I have to say, in her confessional, she explains why she was like, oh, I'm going to wear that $4 million necklace, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, she was trying to be cool. And she now she sort of, she feels shame for doing that. And she should have never done that. I think there was a lot of stuff. I think Bronwyn didn't expect to be a fan favorite last season. So there was a lot of behavior that a lot of us were like, Bronwyn, what are you doing? So she talks about the $4 million necklace. Do you think the Todd father can afford the $4 million necklace? Because you remember what happened at the reunion. Lisa said, I spoke to the young lady at the jewelry store, and she said, you didn't buy it. Okay, at least she's showing ownership. But like I said in the premiere episode, I feel like Bronwyn was a little lackluster. I'm going to keep an open mind. It was only the first episode, but I didn't love Bronwyn. It felt like she was beating a dead horse. But look, Arjun said, fan favorite who? In the beginning of the season. I wonder if they're going to talk about her legal stuff or her past legal stuff during the season. I wonder. I'm sure they are, because I feel like I did see somewhere where they said that. Yeah. Angel is watching on Twitch, says, the thirst of a newbie housewife can always be tricky. She fell for it. A lot of them do. And, we try to help the newbies, but it's only after the fact that we can help. We can't help them during the season. I think they learn in their second season. Look at Angie K. Angie K also, her first, remember we didn't love Angie K in the beginning? But I think she's learned a thing or two. Okay. All right. Not Bronwyn. What's her name? Brittany makes an announcement. She's just like, everybody, I have an announcement. So she stands up. She says, Jared and I are engaged. And then they showed the clip. I didn't even see this. Did you guys see this clip on social media? I don't follow her on social media. If anything, I blocked her. Mentally, not literally. Sidebar, did you guys hear? I found out that Kiki from Real Housewives of Miami blocked me. I didn't even know Kiki. Someone else told me. Someone else told me that you blocked me. Oh, Kiki, whoa. Kiki was like, you could tell him that he used to be my favorite blogger until he started coming after me. Kiki, if you think that was coming after you, I wish you luck on these, recap streets. That wasn't coming after you. But it's okay, Kiki. I'm still going to root for my girl Kiki in some shape or form. Girl, you could spin this. You could have spun this differently. But it's okay, girl. Foxy says she blocked you. I didn't even know. Literally, someone told me because they wanted to relay a message from Kiki to me. She's like, and she had to block me. Okay, girl. I didn't even know you blocked me. I know you had followed me before. She had followed me on TikTok. She had followed me on Instagram. So she did unfollow me. It's okay, girl. It's all right, Kiki. It's all right. She wants a mojito. That's the problem. Singer says, you should do a board. You should do a board for all the chicks that block you, but in a funny way, like the breakdown of all the Nick Cannon kids and baby mamas. Singer, on it. Unless one of you lovely people, because you already know I have a lot to do. If one of you lovely people would like to put, see, but then this is the I'm not a Virgo, but this is the Virgo in me where I'm like, unless you don't do a good job, and then I'll do it over. Exactly. Savannah says Kiki's in the bushes right now watching this. I mean, it's a good show. Look, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is a good show. I'm a good show. Look, it's a good show. Candace says, Kiki, girl, bye. But she's relaying a message through someone else to tell me. I'm like, okay, Kiki, girl. It's all right. All right. So back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm going to drop the call link. We're not done yet, but I'm going to drop the call link for our Twitch fam. All right. And if you run over there to get the call in link and you don't follow me, I'm going to block you. Just saying. Okay. Let me just share this. Please hold. And then I'm going to share it on for our members on the post tab. Okay. All right. So if you're a Twitch member, I'm going to drop this. There we go. Yeah. I dropped it for Twitch folks. So you guys first access Twitch folks. Okay. All right. So back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So Brittany says she has an announcement and she says, Jared and I are engaged. And now we are no longer engaged, but they're still together, she says. And they're like, is he dating anyone else? And she's like, I don't think so. If you are really solid in your relationship, wouldn't you say more than I don't think so? Because Whitney's like, I see him at the gym and he's not on the equipment. So he's really going to the gym, not working out. He's there flirting. That's the only thing I kind of do miss about the gym. Not flirting, but just like seeing the eye candy at the gym. That's the one thing I miss about the going, because you don't have a gym at my building. It made no sense to have a gym. And then I go to Pilates. Like, ain't got time for all of that, expenses. Okay. So I kind of miss at the gym, in your head, like imaginary. That's my gym boo, my gym crush kind of thing. I don't have that anymore. Thank you, SW. SW says, they block you as if you care. And I know some people think I care. I think it's funny. It's like a key for all of us. Blocking me, what is that doing to me? Okay. Singer said, oh, thank you so much. SW said, you're one of the kindest too. I can only imagine what some of these other people, because, some of the other content creators that I am friendly with will tell me, like, I'm surprised when these people block you, because some of the things that these bloggers say about them, like calling them out their name, and I'm like, oh. So, fine. Maybe because I'm the one with the biggest platform, but okay. Singer says, raise your hand if you didn't care for Britt's announcement. Raising my hand. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, please also raise your hand. Break the Cycle says the production was A1. That's the best part. Vicky's watching on Twitch as well, says, that's why I love you, Kempire. You don't care because you don't know them. Yeah, and the most important part, I don't care to know them. I got my people. I got my friends. It's like, we're grown. We don't need new friends. No new friends unless it's in our community. We make new friends this way. Okay? All right. Ooh. And Kira says that Whitney said he appears real single. And to the point where he's introducing these women to Whitney when they're out and about. Out and about, introducing her to these people. So Heather, in her confessional, she's just like, we got to talk to Brittany about these announcements. Girl, it's not an announcement. If the original announcement ends up not happening, so it really isn't an announcement. But I'll say this. And mind you, Mary Cosby's reaction is a very subtle reaction, like, oh, Lord. Like, oh, Lord, here we go. Adds to the comedic effect. I'm going to be honest with you. Although it's a non-announcement, I'm here for the announcement. I really didn't care, but at the same time, for my entertainment, it was funny. Talk to Niet says, I didn't miss Lisa at all. Honestly, I didn't miss Lisa, but they talked so much about Lisa, she might as well have been there. And I think if she was there, it would have been a lot of like screaming. Dorothy, you guys know me so well. Dorothy says that even if Kempire knew them, he wouldn't care. Literally. Hence why some of these people try to befriend me and think that I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. Hey, Stacey Rush. That happened recently too. Who else did that? Oh my God, there was someone else that did that. I was like, I'm still going to say what I'm going to say. Just saying. Someone else did that. Who was it? I can't think of it. Someone else did that. And I think they DM'd me about it. And I was like, I'm still going to say what I'm going to say. Sorry, but not sorry. All right. So moving on from there. So the women end up doing these two separate activities. One is fly fishing. The other is kayaking. I would have been doing the fly fishing. I'm not getting in that kayak. That small little boat and then those rough waters. No, I'm good. I don't care about a life vest or nothing. Nope, not doing it. But it was an opportunity for Bronwyn and Heather to be together because they have had their issues. I don't think their issues are that deep. I think their main issue is the fact that Heather is going to defend Lisa at any cost, and Lisa and Bronwyn are not in a good place. And I agree with Angie K, because Angie K is like, well, I think that you would have been different if Lisa was here. Angie K is working overtime, doing the things that we need her to do and say. And I like the fact that she has no fear in saying it. Hence why she is at the center of it all. She's at the center of the cast photo, and she's at the center of the when they're holding their snowflakes. Okay? And I'm starting to see why. And she's hosting the first event. Mary was not hosting this event. Let's talk about Mary and the fly fishing. So Mary's just like, can we just bring them back to life? Dusty. Gusty. That's an interesting name. But Mary Cosby was like, what's your name? And he was like, Gusty. She's like, Dusty? Gusty. Dusty? Gusty. Gusty. We can't resuscitate them? And he's like, no. I rewound that interaction like 3 times because it was so funny. She's like, Gusty, Dusty, Gusty, Dusty, Gusty. She's so unintentionally funny. I love that about her. And yes, we know, we haven't forgotten that she said problematic things and things like that before. We get it. And she probably will say problematic things again. Okay? We have to remember how she grew up. She was betrothed to her step-grandfather. Duchess says, Gusty Dusty took me out. Oh my goodness. And she wanted to resuscitate. And then in her confessionals, sidebar, y'all notice the same confessional look but different hair? Mary Cosby doesn't care. And that goes to the allure of Mary Cosby. Because normally, they end up filming some of these confessionals at different times. And they have to recreate the same look. We saw that with Sheree. Remember Sheree's last season where she had like a different face because maybe she had got work done? But yeah. But Mary Cosby, completely different hair. But the same outfit. I don't know why, but fine. Okay? But Mary Cosby, in her confessionals, when he says that you can't resuscitate the fish, she's like, no. She's like, I don't believe him. Okay. Mary says Mary Duda says in the comments, you had to be problematic to be a housewife. Or to be on Housewives. It kind of feels that way sometimes, doesn't it? Guys, we're almost at 300 likes. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. And if you're watching the replay, be sure to like the video as well. And don't forget, you can hear our live recaps on the Kempire Podcast. While you're there at the Kempire Podcast, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. On Spotify, you can also engage and post comments on the podcast episode. So be sure to let me know if you're listening to this on Spotify by letting me know your thoughts. Okay? Teresa says, Kempire is messy mess. Not betrothed. I mean, didn't it kind of feel that way? All right, fine. All right, let me see. Okay, so then we sit down for dinner. This dinner was weird. The dinner was weird because Angie planned this dinner, but they have to cook their own food. They have to cook their own food, and but Angie admits later that, the food wasn't supposed to be like this. I forgot a few things. Okay. All right. This is when Heather decides to bring up, did you guys know that this canyon was haunted by this young lady that decided to leave the church? So she haunts like young ladies. And then someone says, but we're not young. Fine. And this is when Angie brings up the fact that she feels like Heather probably wouldn't have been nice to Bronwyn if Lisa was there. And Heather feels like, that's not true. You know, we had this one-on-one during the kayaking, so that sort of helped. No, I agree with Angie K. I agree that the only reason why Heather is probably being nice or cordial with Bronwyn is because Lisa's not there. But Lisa is constantly being brought up. Even at the dinner, Lisa's being brought up. And as they're fighting about Lisa not being there and the relationship with Lisa, Brittany jumps into the conversation and brings up what Whitney said to her about suck Jared's D. Okay? And everyone's just like, we're not talking about that right now. Well, it leads to Whitney being very transparent about how she had a failed business. She's like, she didn't do anything wrong in her business, but the business failed. And this is where all the women started like, you know what? Heather's like, when I first started getting into businesses, I had a few businesses fail as well before the success of Beauty Lab. And she's like, it's hard to admit, but my business failed. And then Brittany's just like, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm sorry. And instantly, Brittany does not have a backbone, all right? She's like, I'm sorry. And then as she's opening up about the business failing and her feelings about that, Brittany walks over to Whitney and tries to hug her. Whitney's like, I'm not ready for that. We're not there yet. And she's like, well, I still want you. Look. She's like, I still want you to apologize for what you said. Brittany is so unhinged, but I would have it no other way. Because it was so funny, right? It was so funny to me. Guys, once we get to 300 likes, I'll drop the call link for the general audience. I am going to drop the call link for our members while I remember. But that was so funny to me when Brittany said that. She wants to go give her a hug because she feels bad. And she wants to, but at least she understands conflict resolution. She's not like Stephanie on Real Housewives of Miami trying to drag this out. I appreciate her, but like, you know what? Let's resolve this. But you still need to apologize. And they're like, what is going on right now? And then it turns into a fight between Meredith and Brittany. I can't even remember how it even turned that way. But Brittany is just like, you turned on me like a dime. You turned on me like a dime. And I thought we were friends. And Meredith is like, how are we friends? Have I called you? She's like, yes. How many times have I called you, Brittany? Maybe twice. And everyone starts laughing like, not twice. And you guys are close friends. And Meredith's like, we are not close friends at all. Poor Brittany. Brittany needed Lisa there. The way she was defending Lisa, you needed Lisa there because no one had your back, including Heather. Who had Brittany's back? No one. Mary doesn't like her. Angie K barely likes her. All right? But all right. So then it leads to Heather wanting to go into the woods and look for this ghost. This is Heather, though. This is Heather's shtick. This is, she always wants to be a producer. She was the one to bring up the hauntedness of the canyon. So she's like, well, let's go look for them. Mary's like, I think isn't it time for bed? And look, isn't it time for bed? And then Mary says in her confession, she's like, y'all do know in the scary movies, the black person dies first. I kind of wish Mary said it in the moment and not in her confessional, because that would probably been even funnier. Miss Melon Mash is the ghost lady. Like, I also would not wanting to be going out in those woods. I don't care if this is a game and we're filming a television show. Ghosts are real. Ghosts are real. I'm not going. Pip Pip Cheerio. Oh, I love the name. Pip Pip Cheerio says, I want to feel bad for Brittany, but that was funny. I know. I don't feel bad for Brittany because I feel like Brittany is so delusional that none of what people say about her, including here, she's affected. I think we could rip Brittany to shreds and she still be like, thanks for talking about me. I love that for her. I don't think she needs to be full-time. Based off of what we've seen, I think there's a lot about her personal life that she can't get into because of the kids and stuff like that. I'm okay with her playing the role. I think she's very good. I hope she negotiated a big friend contract because she deserves it. Lakia says, Mary told no lies. Exactly. Coco says, but at her big age, it's not cute. The whole ghost stories and going into the woods. Oh, wait, are you talking about Brittany at her big age? Oh, Lord. All right. Right? Alma says, I love that screen name. Pip, pip, cheerio. Pip, pip, cheerio. Love it. Guys, once we get to 300 likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys. Goddess Isis, thank you so much for the super chat. Goddess says, this was an unexpectedly funny premiere and Mary. And I have to say, because I wasn't paying attention last night, I was like doing two things at the same time, preparing for this live. As you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, like I was doing all this stuff last night to give you guys a full experience, haunted experience. And Halloween is right around the corner too. And look, and I brought out the snow. I'm not trying to really bring out the snow, but look, I brought out the snow. Let it snow. Let it snow. I brought out the snow for you. Don't forget, guys, this Friday, speaking of the snow and winter and getting your skincare together, I'll be sharing all the deets when it comes to my skincare. There'll be all kinds of giveaways and shout outs and all of that this Friday here on the channel and on Butter Skin's channels. Make sure you guys are following them because we'll be going through my skincare routine and we'll be doing an online shopping event this Friday, September 19th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. PST. But if you can't wait and you want to get something now, head on over to the description for 10% off with my link. Okay? All right. Oh, wait, I forgot to keep this on. Let me just do this. Let it snow. Let it snow. Sorry. All right. Moving on. What else did I want to say? Oh, so that's how they ended the episode, but they're still on this trip next week. I feel like it was a good episode. Even after recapping it, I feel good about the episode. I'm going to give this week's episode a 9. All right, so let's get to some of the callers. Live chat, we're almost at 300 likes. I'll drop the call link for you guys once we get to 300 likes, okay? But if you're a member of the channel, I did drop the call link on the post tab. And if you're watching on Twitch, I dropped it there as well. I'll drop it again for the Twitch fam as well. Please keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is alleged. Okay? All right, so let me bring up our friend Angel, who watches on YouTube and on Twitch. Angel, what did you think of the premiere episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire. The premiere episode was Chef's Kiss. I give it an 8.5 for this week.
Okay.
Because it had me laughing when I was supposed to. It had me giving Brittany the side eye when she was off her rocker. It was great. Only beef I have is with Angie because they're older than me and I'm 42. There's no way I'm going to bed with no walls and a door when I go to sleep. And you are not serving me no hot dogs because I haven't had one since 5th grade. So that was my only issue with that. But besides that, love the episode. Looking forward to next week. Okay.
Thank you, Angel, for calling in.
No problem. Have a good one, Kim.
You too. Bye. It's Melon Magic that kept flying through this recap today. Well, I felt like it was a solid premiere, even though it was a supersized premiere. It was about an hour, without commercials. So I thought it was a solid premiere. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of things that I may have forgotten to get into, but it's the premiere episode. There's so much more to unpack in regards to what will happen during the season. Hey, Wendy, Sunny. All right, the Dan Talk is backstage. We're going to bring them up next. Dan, what's going on?
Hello, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good, good. Just to say that I really loved your live stream at New York. I watched it while I was in Barcelona on holiday. It was really nice.
Okay,
I love the tea that you spilled, and I'm ready for the next era.
Okay.
And for Salt Lake City, it was a really good episode. I would give it a 9. I love all of them, even if I don't like them. I think they're a perfect cast with Lisa Barlow. And as you say, I wish they don't give Lisa that much power over them.
Right.
Because she's really not the queen, but they are, I don't know, scared of her, or they want her fame or whatever, and then they give her the power for nothing. So I hope Bronwyn, Angie will stop talking about Lisa, and Whitney will stop talking about Lisa and talk about their own life. I think their life is interesting enough for it.
Dan, do you think that's why, though, they're constantly, at least in the premiere, talking about Lisa so they don't have to talk about their own stuff?
I think so, in a way. But Bronwyn has a good point. We don't know much about Lisa's life. I learned more about Bronwyn's life in 1 season than about Lisa's life in 5 seasons. So she got a point, but I think she should let Lisa talk if she wants to talk, and if she doesn't want to talk, let's be it. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan, for calling in.
Bye.
Bye. All right. And again, shout out to those of you that got the live stream of our New York City show. And shout out to those of you that came to the New York City show. If you're a member of the channel, you know I always eventually, I can't promise you that it will be anytime soon, but I will eventually share with you the New York City show because I will get the live stream as well. So shout out to those of you that probably waited to see. But again, you remember when I give you the live stream, I don't give you the full show. Sorry, look, this is how am I supposed to make it worth your while to get the ticket next time when we do a live show? Just saying. So go get your go become a member because eventually I will share it. But for those of you, I mean, I haven't gotten any DMs lately, so I'm sure all of you were able to resolve any issues that you may have had with the live stream. But if you didn't, please email the venue and they will make sure that you are able to watch the show. Because for those that bought the live stream, you have it for the week. So feel free to keep watching it. Watch it again. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get to some more callers, and then I'm going to wrap this up because I got things to do. Oh, I also dropped a video this morning, guys, in regards to Dame Dash. I give you another update in regards to Dame Dash, and he's being called out by Revolt TV and Claudia Jordan. So, Moz, if we could post a link in the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat so people can go watch that and go give it a like. Just saying. But also, I posted a short video talking about Cardi B. Cardi B announced this morning during her Gayle King interview that she's pregnant. Shocker. It's her 4th child, and this child is with Stefon Diggs. She refers to him as her boyfriend. So finally, I know we've been speculating on it for a while now, but she's officially confirmed. And I don't know if you guys saw that she also announced yesterday that her Little Miss drama tour. And I looked at the dates and I was like, oh, so she would have already given birth at that particular time. Here's the thing. I want to say this before we move on to the rest of the callers. When you're pregnant, I wait on the person to say it. We can speculate all we want, but I get why she didn't say anything. Okay, because you want to make sure that you reach a certain point before. She didn't even tell her parents. She said she was scared. She's scared of them. She didn't want to tell them anything yet. But even despite being pregnant, she's been out here working and promoting the hell out of this project. Okay, she got Janet Jackson on this new album. I'm looking forward to her album. I liked her debut album. It's been a long time since the debut album, but I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna get fed this month. We've got Cardi B. We've got Mariah Carey. All right, we've gotten the part 2, swag 2 of Justin Bieber. Ed Sheeran dropped some music. We got a lot of good stuff this month. Just saying. Oh, it's just me? Whatever. All right. So be sure to check out those videos. And if you're not subscribed, this is what you get here. We don't just talk about Housewives here on the channel. We talk about everything in pop culture. Make sure you also subscribe to the Kempire podcast as well. All right. Let me bring up Lakia next. Lakia, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, my goodness. First, I'm so excited to speak with you.
Thank you for calling in.
I'm going to make this very quick. Let me start. Murray, oh my goodness. I'm so happy to have her back on my screen, I must say. She give me that comedic relief that we need. Yes. Everything's been so dark, and she's just like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Now, Britt. Oh. Britt.
For a second there.
She just give me such a ick and a cringe. It's like a Disney character stuck in an adult body that I just need her to pop out, be a woman, go fix it with her kids, leave Jared alone, let him fondle in the gym. It's just too much. She's too much. Take them cameras and she can leave.
Wait, hold on. Let me play it. Wait, hold on. Damn, Lakia. You sound so sweet, and you came in with the lethalness. Okay, go ahead.
Meredith and Lisa. The only reason they have an alliance is because they got the most dirt on each other, and they have to stick together so that way they can't risk spilling tea on each other to give other people ammunition. Point blank, period. They not fooling me.
Oh. Lakia, lethal.
Whitney.
Oh, she's not done. Go ahead.
No. I'm glad Whitney emptied out her clip so that way the girls can't use it against her. She learning fast. She said, you won't take me down with my own stuff. Let me spill my tea while it's piping hot. In your face, Angie. I don't want that hug. Brittany. And Angie, keep it going. Oh. I'm proud of her.
Yes. Okay.
How about a round of applause for standing ovation?
Hold on. Lakia, where are you calling from?
I'm from Baltimore.
Okay. Oh, Baltimore. Did you come to our DC show?
No, I couldn't make it, unfortunately.
Okay, next one.
Next one, I'm there.
Okay. Lakia, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too. I should have known Lakia was from Baltimore, the way she emptied the clip on that entire cast. That was definitely giving Baltimore energy. All right, let me get to the rest of these calls because I got to go. Anthony's backstage. Anthony, what's going on?
Hey, everyone. Anthony from Los Angeles, California. How are you, Kempire?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Apologies. I'm calling from work, so my sound might be iffy. But I had to call in for this episode. It was a 9 out of 10. I loved it. It was great. The only reason why it's not a 10 is that I personally would love the cast, the full cast, to be part of a premiere episode, and for Lisa to not be a part of it. I can understand her wanting more money, but I do believe this entire cast needs more money and deserves more money because they outperformed, in my opinion, the entertainment value, the laughs, the drama compared to other franchises. Hello, 90210. So I think they all deserve it, but Lisa, I can understand her point. For Brittany, she's a hot mess, and I love...
Wait, Anthony, but now that you said that, don't you think now all of them should have held out?
I think all of them don't want to fight with Bravo or make some type of issue with production, and I'm sure they're fine with what they're paid. Meredith.
But this might have worked for Lisa, and now they're all going to hold out next season.
You know what? Let them. I think they
should have band together. They should have band together and held out. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
No. But honestly, I 100% agree with you. But I can understand why Lisa would do that. And as well for the ladies to talk about her. I don't think they would have had this full discussion with her because she would have shut that down in the first sentence and just talked to her side in her confessional. There's no way Lisa would have fully opened her business or her issues with everyone. I think it's just only between her and John and her scenes or in her confessionals, in my opinion. And then lastly, for who was it for my last point?
Let me show you the cast. Please hold. Which one of them?
Oh my goodness. Whitney. Okay. I for Whitney to talk about her failed business, I think it's a bit refreshing because I don't remember the last time a housewife talked about their issues and their businesses or failed businesses, and for Whitney to bring this up, and I'm sure she'll make this her storyline. To me, as a change, as well as this whole change of the premiere episode for Housewives, because Salt Lake is pretty much known now to be more adventurous with their trips or with their to-dos. So for me, I just love this show so much, and I'm glad it's back, and great premiere, and yeah.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you so much.
Now get back to work. No plan.
Honestly. Bye, Kempire. Take care.
Well, here's the thing with Whitney. Whitney claimed that she lost millions of dollars from that failed business. But didn't Whitney, we said this last season during our recap, how are you buying this new home? I don't think Whitney, I think is going to use it as her storyline, but I feel like it's convenient. Because some of that math is not mathing. Because remember, the husband also lost his job right before he got a new job. But come on. Oh, let's buy a new house. Okay, girl. All right, Sierra's backstage. Sierra, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 6 premiere?
Yes. Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. I was at work. I had all these meetings. I literally was trying to get out these meetings just to call in Kempire.
I love it. I appreciate it.
I want to say, Heather Gay, I doubted you. I don't much like you, but you was tea on Bronwyn, because Bronwyn really showed who she is in this premiere episode, which to me is a liar, deceiver, want to be famous real bad. And Heather Gay called it from last season, and I said that Heather Gay was a hater. Heather Gay, I take it back. I think you are right. I think everybody showed up to work this season, and I agree with Anthony that nobody wants to be in the bad graces of Bravo. Yeah. But that made me think of NeNe back in Atlanta seasons ago, where she stood her ground and the whole group rallied. There can never be another NeNe. But all that to say, Salt Lake brought it. Heather Gay, you got it. And Whitney, everybody in Utah's money is funny. So... very good. All that to say, it was a great premiere, 10 out of 10. All these other Housewives shows need to take notes immediately. And Mary Cosby for the win. She actually showed up more in this premiere than I think she's even showed up last season.
Wow. My
opinion. She showed up. The faces, she was adding in that commentary. She's like, oh no, I'm here to stay. But Queen Mary can do the bare minimum, and I would still praise her. So I'm biased.
I mean, Lisa does, and they're praising her.
Yes, she does. Really quick note before I hop off. Lisa, everybody wants to say that Lisa is like a non-factor, but they keep bringing her up, making her a factor.
Exactly.
So it's like, if I was Lisa, you can't win for losing. If I'm not here, you're going to talk about me. If I'm here, you're still going to talk about me.
Yeah.
The check still clears. So,
and a bigger check than all the viewers, probably.
Boom. Very good. But nevertheless, it was great. I loved it. Now back to my lunch break and then back to work. But I'll catch the replay.
Enjoy lunch, Sierra. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye.
Bye. I'm glad we were able to get to some calls. Excommunicado will be our last caller, guys. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and free way of supporting the channel. And if you're listening to this on the Kempire podcast, make sure you give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And reminder, don't forget, follow me on socials. Twitch.tv/TheKempire, TikTok, TheKempire, Instagram, TheKempire, and Twitter, because I do live tweeting when I'm watching this show. So follow us, TheKempire, there as well. Excommunicado, what did you think about the premiere episode?
Hi, Kempire. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm okay. I think the episode was great. Salt Lake City, we were expecting it and excited about it, and they didn't disappoint. I would give it maybe 8 or 7.5. Why? I'll talk about why in a bit. But first off, do we have an idea who earns the most on this cast?
Oh no, they never talk about money. We could speculate. The OGs definitely are making the most, and they probably make more than Mary, because remember, Mary wasn't there for a season.
I really hope that is not the case, because Mary totally deserves, because the way she constantly, for me personally, last season, Mary and Bronwyn were the highlights of the show for me. And so far this episode also, I would say kind of the same.
Yeah.
And I think Lisa doesn't deserve to be the one getting the highest pay on that cast, because as much as they tend to bring her up with issues and all of that, I guess that is what cast would do. They will talk about who is not there and all of that. But to me, she has like the least personality on this cast. She and Meredith, they have the least personality that you can actually hold on to on this cast. So she wouldn't be worth that highest pay, in my opinion. Yeah. But Mary, the way she delivers, I don't know if you caught that moment where I think Meredith was trying to say, oh, let's address this with Lisa, not why she's not here. And Mary is like, I can talk about it whether she's here or not. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, Mary is she doesn't care, and then she's so funny and witty, and that's another thing that I also like about Brownlee. I feel like Brownlee is one of those who, in real time, she can actually deliver a read like we would get on the Black Housewives show.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I found. That's why I actually liked her last season, even though I didn't like the fact that she was totally whining about wanting Lisa's empathy and loyalty last season, and constantly going about that, and also being the bone carrier and not showing any loyalty to anybody, just dropping the bones wherever and all. But I feel like still she was able to bring a lot of personality and bring a lot of reads, and she was always able to deliver in real time as much as in her confessionals. So it's sad that this time we got to discover that, the whole necklace thing was true, because now that tends to bring some questions about, whether she actually has that life and or whether Todd actually has that money. But for me, I feel like she's still, in my opinion, I think everyone felt like, Angela was like the best casting in recent years. For me, I think Brownlee has been my favorite casting in recent years on a lot of these shows. And even in the scene where Brittany is trying to tell her, just say, I'm sorry, I apologize and all of that, and she got Brittany together and like, don't tell me that, boo-boo. I'll you clear up your own shit, and the way she delivers in real time, she's able to do that in confessional. So I feel like she's a very good addition to this cast. And what else? For Brittany, I hope Brittany is bringing more this year than the...
we lost you. Excommunicado. That was the universe saying, your time is up. Excommunicado, your time is up. It's okay, though. We appreciate it. Call us back in. We still have a full season of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City to recap and talk about. Shout out to everyone that called in and shared their thoughts and opinions on this week's premiere episode. If you're part of the replay crew, and I know a lot of you will be because, we're live during lunch hours and things like that. So, and sometimes morning hours, depending on where you're watching from. Let us know in the comment section your thoughts and opinions. Don't forget, we do not moderate adults, so do not attack people for their opinion, no matter which way they may go. Everyone's entitled, as long as they're not being derogatory. Just a reminder, you know the rules here. So thank you to everyone that will be a part of the conversation this season for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If you enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Don't rely on the algorithm for you to find me again, because you may not. So make sure you subscribe, and make sure you turn on your notifications and subscribe to the Kempire podcast, because you never know, I might add additional thoughts to the podcast version like I did to the OC version last week. Okay? All right. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Become a member today at TeamKempire.com/join. And also, I forgot to mention, we have new tour merch. The villain era might be over, technically. But the tour merch is now available. T-shirts, sweatshirts, and hats are now available. Limited edition. So make sure you go get it today. That way, Candace, I don't know if you got one, girl. You might want to get that because you always get the tour merch. But this is new tour merch that we've launched. So be sure to check that out at houseofkempire.com. Mods, if we can post that in the Twitch and YouTube chat. That's HAUS of Kempire.com, or if you can go to TheKempire.com and click the shop button, whatever is easier for you guys. Go get your tour merch today, and I will see you guys later this week for our Real Housewives of Miami and OC recaps. But also, don't forget, Friday I'll be live with our friends over at Butter Skin on their socials and live here on YouTube for our online shopping event. Giveaways and everything in between will be happening on Friday, September 19th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. PST. Set your reminders for that. I will see you guys then. Thank you all for being here. I will see you later. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.